Episode 1 of the Polar Triangle opening series. If this is your first visit to the series, make sure you watch the intro video to learn how this series is structured, and this will help you get the most out of these videos. For this episode, our opponent has won the opening roll with a roll of 6-1. Pretty obvious, our opponent will make the 7 point. We pick up the dice and we respond with the roll 3-4. How would you play this 3-4 at all 3 different match scores? Pause the video. There are 4 moves to consider here. We can break the 24 point, step right up to our opponent. We can split and down, 21-9. We can split and down 20-10, 2 moves that look very similar. They're actually very different. And we have this move 2 down from the 13 point, which visibly looks really good. We get to take 2 checkers off our 13 point, and we're starting to build our home board. So let's look at our first match score. At 9-away, 9-away, we have 2 moves that are close to tie for the best. And the best move is actually 20-21. This theme of putting pressure on stripped points, here just beyond the opponent's 6 point, is something that can really help you. Now we have 2 checkers putting pressure on these 2 stripped points. Our opponent can roll good. Like, for example, they can roll 3-1. But when they do a move like this, they would do this with 3-1, we have a reasonable chance of making an anchor or hitting this loose checker. And most of these moves that make a point on us will leave a shot. The second best move is this split 21-9. Very similar in accomplishment on our opponent's side of the board. We get to pull a checker off of our overstacked 13 point, and this is a great formation to start to build our home board. Now the third best move would be the splitting down 20-10. Now believe it or not, this is halfway to blunder. Why? How can this move and this move, looking so similar, be that different? Well, when we step up all the way, our opponent's 1-1, 2-2, 3-3, 4-4 all play extremely well. When we stay back a little bit, these moves still play very well, but not as well. It's a subtlety, and it's something you learn from studying the game and from experience. But it's enough of a difference that this move is halfway to blunder, where this move is virtually tied for the best move. And our last option, while it looks visually fine, is actually the worst of the 4. And that tells us the value in stepping up and pressuring these stripped points, that a simple move like this, of all 4 moves, is actually the worst. Let's look at our next match score with 3-4. Our next match score, 4-away, 2-away, with our 3-4. Here we're in Honey Badger mode, where our focus is on our home board and attacking. And here, 21-9, and the move 10-9 are basically tie for the best move, with 21-9 being just slightly better. Now, since our focus is here, how can this be one of the best moves? How can this be the best move, even if just by a little bit? Well, this tells us that this idea of pressuring these stripped points is very important and is something we have to consider at all match scores. 10-9 is also our next move. Tie for best fits perfectly with our game plan at this match score, with our focus on home board points. This move is so far from our game plan, it's a very bad move. And again, interestingly, 2010 is not a good move. Just gives our opponents just too much. And our last match score, 2-away, 4-away. Here we're in cookie mode. We're not interested in sharing anything with our opponent. Here the best play is 21-10. It's the best play for all the previous reasons, but with the added emphasis that we're working on an advanced anchor as fast as we can at this match score. Second best is 21-9. We can still look at the entire board and look forward to the rest of our game to play as smoothly as possible, as long as we're working on an advanced anchor. 21-9 is within the error range. It's getting close to a mistake though. The best play here is stepping up. This step up, again, it's a bad move. It's a subtlety, but it's a bad move. And the last of the 4 moves, bringing 2 checkers down from the 13 point, this is a really bad move in this position. It's at total odds away from our strategy we should be having when we are 2-away, 4-away. Our focus should be on an advanced anchor as fast as we can. So with our 3-4, we play 21-9, and our opponent rolls 5-1. They come down from their midpoint, and they split in the back, a reasonable play. We pick up the dice, and we roll 4-1. What would your play be at our 3 different match scores? Pause the video. Now in this position with this roll, there's really only 2 moves to consider. We can make the 20 point, no complaints there, and we have the opportunity to make our beautiful 5 point here. Now at 9-away, 9-away, how many of you moved up to the 20 point here? Despite the growing threat from our opponent, it's correct to make the 5 point. We get rid of a blot, we make our 5 point, we're also unstacking our biggest stack on the board. So if we can do that while facing this army and not making the 20 point, tells you just how important this 5 point is. And it's clear, it's not even close. Let's look at our next match score, 4-away, 2-away. If this is correct at 9-away, 9-away, at 4-away, 2-away, when our focus is on our home board, this should easily be your play. No hesitation at all. In fact, making the 20 point is 3 to 4 times the blunder that it was at 9-away, 9-away. And one last match score to look at, and the last decision for this video. 2-away, 4-away. We're in cookie mode, we're looking at an anchor. And when you're given the opportunity at 2-away, 4-away to make an anchor and to make the best possible anchor, the 20 point, you do so without any hesitation. In fact, the 20 point with our 9-away, 9-away and our 4-away, 2-away was a mistake. It was actually a really big mistake. Now, not making the 20 point is a blunder. So that shows you how big of a swing it can be with our checker play, just with match score. Quick review of what we just studied, and for those who just want to see the numbers, our opponent won the opening roll with 6-1. We rolled 3-4, and the first match score we looked at, 9-away, 9-away. And for 9-away, 9-away, 2 up from the back, because these 2 points here are stripped, play a big part in this position. And the split to the 21 and the 9 point, tie for the best. The split up to the edge, 20-10, halfway to blunder, and 2 down from the midpoint, ignoring the fact that these 2 points are stripped, was also bad. Halfway to blunder, and the worst of the lot. The next match score we looked at, 4-away, 2-away. We're behind in the match at the most sensitive match score, looking to target our home board points, and at 4-away, 2-away, 21-9, our split, and 2 down from the 13 point, we're tied for the best, 0 and 009. The split, we're learning not to like too much, 30, and 2 checkers from the back, not matching our strategy for 4-away, 2-away was the worst. Next match score, 2-away, 4-away, and at 2-away, 4-away, we're looking for an advanced anchor. To no surprise, 2 checkers up was the best play, 21-9 was the next best play, and the other two, again, 20-10, not a good move, and 10-9 at complete odds of what our strategy should be for 2-away, 4-away. So our play in this position, split to the 21, come down to the 9, and after our opponent rolled 5-1, we rolled 4-1. And our first match score, 9-away, 9-away, and 1-4 here, 9-away, 9-away, the 5-point. Clearly the 5-point, not the 20-point, as good as it looks. 20 points closing in on a blunder at this match score. The next match score we looked at, 4-away, 2-away, our focus was on the home board. 5-point should be an easy find. Numbers on this one are big. 20 points, 190. It's more than a double blunder to make the 20-point in this position. And I'm guessing there's a few of you out there, when you first saw this, you saw that 20-point and you made it right away. You have to factor in match score or you're not going to have a chance to get these right. And then the next and last match score we looked at, 2-away, 4-away. And at this match score, it's a 20-point by a blunder. Big jump here. From those two match scores, the 20-point went from being over a double blunder to make to being a full blunder not to make. And that's why it's important to study this. And that will end this video.